Hi, my name is David Harris, and I'm a lawyer, and I like to talk about baclofen and alcohol treatment. The first thing I'd like to talk about is what a baclofen actually is. And if you'd like to follow me, could you click follow and subscribe and the notification button, and also click the like button. Now, baclofen is a chemical. It was developed by a pharmaceutical company back in the 1960s, and it was designed initially, or thought to be designed for use in treatment of epilepsy. It's what's called a GABA B agonist. The GABA B receptors are part of the brain which receive a chemical impulse called a neurotransmitter, and that neurotransmitter calms the brain down. And the chemical that works on it is something called GABA B. And you may have heard of a part of a chemical called GHB, which is gamma hydroxy butyric acid, GHB, also known as the date drug. Well, that is a substance which occurs naturally in very small quantities in the brain, and that drug calms down neurological activity and actually is released into the system to calm a person down. Now, baclofen is a man-made substitute for that drug. It's called an agonist because it works on a neuroreceptor. You hear of other drugs which are called antagonists because they work as a sort of a prophylactic in that they protect the brain from the effects of certain drugs, chemicals. But baclofen is an agonist. It works in the same way as GHB, and in alcoholism that's significant because the theory behind baclofen use for alcoholism is that alcohol actually also acts on the same neuroreceptors in the brain in the same way as GHB. And so alcohol will calm down the brain, in fact, put you to sleep if you drink too much of it. So what you have is a trio of chemicals, GHB, alcohol, and baclofen, which all have the same effect on the brain, calming anxiety. And the theory behind baclofen use is that if you take baclofen, you are effectively doing the same thing to the brain that alcohol would do. And so if you imagine a receptor, the GABA B receptor as like a cup, if you fill it with, if it's empty of the chemical that's needed to calm it down, which is GHB, you can fill it up again either with alcohol, or you can fill it with baclofen. And once it's filled with baclofen, there's no more room left, and therefore there's nowhere to put the alcohol. And so that means that your brain no longer craves alcohol, and you no longer have, if you are successful in taking this sufficiently, an addiction. The problem, though, with baclofen is that it has a half-life of 4 hours. It wears off after 4 hours, and so you have to keep taking it. So you have to keep the cup full, and at night when you go to sleep, it wears off, so you can find yourself waking up in the middle of the night with cravings for alcohol. It's not addictive, so if it wears off, you will crave alcohol because alcohol is more fun. And you will wake up in the morning perhaps relapsing into alcohol use. So it's a tricky drug to take, but the experience of many people is who take it is that if they take it regularly over a long period of time, the craving for alcohol disappears, and the less one takes alcohol, the more the body can repair itself from the ravages of alcohol, and the more you can regain your health and begin to lead a normal life. And so that's the gist of it. It's a replacement for GHB, and if you have a problem with GHB deficiency, then if you take baclofen, you won't reach for a bottle of alcohol. And so that's the general theory of the mechanism behind it. So I'll leave it there. There are other issues which we need to discuss, which I'll address later in another video. And I'll try and make this into a series, which I release every week or two. But the gist of it is that the underlying theory of alcoholism in baclofen treatment is that it is a replacement drug for GHB. And GHB calms anxiety in the brain. If you have a deficiency of this, if you're worn out, if you've been through a lot of anxiety, as we all do, suffer from time to time or throughout the day, you'll find yourself reaching for a bottle of reaching for alcohol, and you'll know from your own experience that you'll have a greater desire to drink on, say, Sunday evening before going back to work on a Monday, or at the end of the day, or after stressful periods. And so that's where baclofen sits in terms of use in relation to anxiety. So I'll leave it there, and I'll see you again next time.